Hi, welcome to Bites on a Budget. I'm Sean, and welcome to my kitchen. Thanks for joining us at KBHU-TV, and I hope you're ready to cook on a budget. Today we'll be making a one-pot sausage and mushroom pasta with a side salad and a dressing you can make with almost anything in your kitchen. So let's get started. So today you're going to need some olive oil, some Italian sausage. We're going to get some garlic, some onions, some mushrooms, any kind of pasta that you've got in the cupboard. So let's get started with our sausage. You're going to need about 1 pound, which I've got here, and some olive oil. But you're also going to need one really big pot. So to start out, we're just going to crumble our Italian sausage right into this pot with just a little bit of olive oil and set it on the stove to get browning. You can use any kind of Italian sausage you can find. You could use links if you'd like, if you can find them. I got this at Luder's, and it's the extra hot kind because it wasn't frozen, and that's how I prefer to use this. So I'm just crumbling it up so it's a little easier to brown when we get to it. Great. And then we will just use just a little bit of this. About 2 tablespoons, but I like to guess. And then we're just going to place it on our stove over medium heat and cook till brown. So while our sausage is browning, I'm going to get the rest of our ingredients going. So I'm going to need 1 small onion, which I've got here, 8 ounces of any kind of mushroom that you'd like, and we'll start with that. So I'm going to take a nice big Santoku knife. Santoku means it's got these ridges on it. It lets the vegetables come off of the blade as you're cutting, so it makes things way easier. If you don't have a Santoku, that's totally fine. Use whatever knife you're most comfortable with. Just gonna peel off those top couple layers because no one likes that in there. And any way that you choose to chop this onion up is totally fine. I prefer nice big chunks because I think they give off the best flavor. But if you prefer little tiny pieces of onion, you're more than welcome to do that. So I'm going to take that onion after I've chopped it and just slide it into this bowl to get it out of my way as I continue to chop these. For me, I like to pop that stem off and chop from there. And like I said, I like big pieces of vegetables in general, so I like to keep that nice and large. And also the handy thing about mushrooms is they do cook down quite a bit, so once we do get to dinner time, these will be nice and bite-sized. As you can see, my knife work's not perfect. Yours doesn't have to be either. And that's enough to work with for now. So we're just browning our sausage up here. Just gonna get it so it's nice and browned. You don't want, sausage isn't something that you worry about rarity on. You just want to make sure it's cooked all the way through. Oh, I so wish you could smell this. It's so good. Now that our meat's browned, I'm gonna put everything else in the pot because, you know, it's a 1-pot meal. So I've got a coaster here so I don't, burn the counters of the rental. So I'm going to take the vegetables that I chopped up earlier, place those here in this pot. And I've got a can of peeled crushed tomatoes from Luder's. And just pour that right into here with the rest of our vegetables. Great. And then I need to grab some definitely some garlic. Instead of mincing my own, because that's a tedious process, I just buy this canned minced stuff. It lasts forever in the fridge, and it's just way too easy. So, and you can never have too much. So I just put some of those in there. And we'll also need some fresh basil, or dry basil if that's the route you choose to go, and some oregano. So the recipe calls for a teaspoon of each. I don't really measure, so I'm just gonna put about a teaspoon And I'm just going to break up one leaf of this, a couple leaves of this, this fresh basil. Fresh basil smells so good. Great, awesome, awesome. Okay, so I'm going to put that in there. And then I'm just going to stir it up, give it a nice pull together a bit. Oh, if you could smell this, you would be diving into this bowl. It's so good. So now that that's all in there, mixed and combined, those things will cook down, but I'm not going to worry about them cooking down. I'm just going to get everything in that pot. So I've got 4 cans of broth here. I don't actually need 4 cans. I just need 4 cups. So I have them just open on each end. So that can go in there. Don't worry, I saved it. Don't worry, I saved it. So as I stir that up, need some pasta in there for sure. So, like I said earlier, any kind of pasta you've got in the cupboard, I happen to have these mini farfalle because they're small, so they cook up really, really well. You don't have to worry about underdone pasta, especially in a one pot. Sometimes our pasta gets a little bit too hard and doesn't cook all the way through. So here's this, and I need a whole pound of it, so in it goes. And I'm just going to stir that up. Now it looks like I'm going to need some more of that vegetable broth, so I'm going to add that, another can of that into here, just so that there's enough moisture in here for that pasta to soak it up and become nice and tender. Great. Now, one more quick stir through there, and I'm going to set it on the stove, get it up to a boil, and then put a lid on it and simmer. It'll be ready in just a few minutes. So while our one pan pasta is sitting on the stove for about 30 minutes, simmering on low, getting nice and delicious, we are going to make a salad dressing that you can get with ingredients you probably already got in your house. So you could whisk it in a bowl if you'd like, or you could use this handy dandy salad shaker, which then also doubles as a terrific storage device after you're done. So that's what we're going to do. So I've got my salad dressing holder here. I've got a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar, so I'm going to put that in. I've got 1/3 cup of honey, and this is local honey, which is really, really great. This is a nifty trick. If you have allergies and you've just moved to a place, find a local honey place and get some honey from them. It'll help clear your allergies up spectacularly fast. So if that's you, give it a shot. And then I have 1 cup here of a extra virgin olive oil, putting that all in there. Man. I need 3 tablespoons of fresh basil, so I'm just going to do 3 sprigs because you can't have too much basil. And before I just peeled it apart, this time I'm going to chop it up nice and fine. Oh man, did I tell you how much fresh basil smells amazing? Because if I didn't, I probably should have. So, one more pass through here. Like I said, your knife work doesn't have to be spectacular. Mine certainly isn't. Just to get all that awesome basil-y smell and taste out of those. So I'm going to add that right into that shaker. Now, if you didn't want to whisk it together, you could just get like a tall cup with a lid and go that direction. I'm also going to add about 2 cloves worth of garlic, maybe a little bit more because it's goodness. So we're going to put that on there. Make sure this is on really tight or else you're going to have a giant mess. So make sure that that's nice and tight on there. That the top spout is on nice and tight, and just give it a shake. And you'll see all those things start to come together. And especially that honey on the bottom, it's going to take a little bit of work to get that honey off the bottom and to mix up. But just keep going. If you keep moving, it'll loosen up off the bottom and add that sweet right into that dressing. So I like to kind of invert, and it kind of helps trace that honey off the bottom. And when you're done, it should look a lot like that. So then I'm just going to stick it in the fridge. So it's ready to go for our salad that we're going to throw together in a little bit. Well guys, everything is done. What I did the last couple minutes, I took the lid off and cranked the heat up just to cook that liquid down a little bit more, so that things are nice and solidified inside this pot of absolutely deliciousness. So yeah, and presentation is always important. So I'm gonna take a nice big rounded scoop onto that plate and let it fall out just enough, and it will keep to itself pretty well. Now if I hadn't taken the lid off, it would have just souped all over the plate. So make sure that that last step is nice and important. I'm just going to take our regular bagged salad. I'm just going to toss it in here. Bagged salads are great because you get a variety of different lettuces, different colors. Makes a really nice presentation. We're going to take that dressing that we've got, give it one more shake. It's been in the fridge for a little bit, so make sure it's nice and shook up. And I'm just going to drizzle just a bit of it in here. Oh, it smells so good. And you can toss it if you'd like with a fork and a spoon, but I'm a big proponent of tongs. It's like my favorite thing in the kitchen is tongs, which I know makes me sound like a complete weirdo, but trust me, so handy. And then you make messes all over the counter, it's great. So then we're just going to take just a little bit of that, making sure we get nice color in there, placing that on a plate in this third. When I plate things, I like to divide things into sections. So this way when I present, there's a third that doesn't have anything, drawing your attention to the most important things in the plate. I also, now that I think about it, I have some sugar snap peas here in the fridge that I would love to add to that salad. So the handy thing about these is they look really nice. So as you're presenting, you can place them in there just right to give the right look for your plate. And there you have it, guys. One pot dinner, and guess what? It cost less than 20 bucks to do this. Last little touch, I'm going to take just some shredded Parmesan, and this is a blend that's already pre-mixed. If you're a food snob, you could certainly grate your own, yeah, I just choose to add the pre-made stuff because it's got 3 different cheeses in it, so I don't have to grate 3 different kinds. So there it is, guys. I'm going to take a bite for you. So, and then just imagine that you are right here with me, and it's so good. I can't wait for you to try this, you and your family or your friends or date night or whatever it is. But I have to take another bite. It's just so good. Well, guys, thanks so much for joining us here on Bites on a Budget. Like I said before, everything here under $15. So one quick tip is to, whenever you go grocery shopping, find stuff that's on sale and buy in bulk. Freeze it. That's why I've got a freezer. It's full of stuff so that anytime I need something, I can just pull it on out. Check us out next time for some awesome great recipes. Also, check us out online at BHSUmedia.com.